Should she stand firm beside her friend of 20 years and back her up? Should she maintain a dignified silence and refuse to get drawn into a fight that wasn't hers? Or should she turn her back on the wizarding lady, hang her out to dry, and make increasingly passive-aggressive attacks?
Second one. At least the second one. Do not do this shit. Crash and Burn, the Emma Watson story. What the hell is this about? Now, me, I used to love Emma Watson. And Harry Potter, shoot, that was one of my childhood questions. I think that was for everybody, to be honest with you. And so I'm just curious what the hell is this about. So let's get into it.
Oh dear, it's not a very good time to be Emma Watson, is it? From child actor to indie darling to big budget star, and finally to whiny, controversial and divisive activist.
I feel like these actors just need to stop doing this. And stop stop getting this so much divisive stuff and like politics and everything like that. I think it would just be better for them, to be honest. I don't know why they do this. That's just me though. Hey, you can do whatever the hell you want, but shoot.
Increasingly disconnected from reality and now publicly ridiculed by one of the biggest names in modern culture in what may go down as the most...
Is that JK Rowling? Oh.
Savage dressing down in history. Ever since she exploded onto the big screen with the Harry Potter franchise, her acting has carried her to the very cusp of A-level stardom before it all came to a shuddering halt in one of the most baffling acts of career self-sabotage outside of Rachel Zegler.
It's Hollywood, baby.
A woman who pinned her reputation, her public image, and her entire worldview on whatever happened to be most popular at the time, never considering that the cultural winds might change and what's popular today might not be popular tomorrow. So
this is why I think you should just stick to yourself, be true to what you actually mean, and simply stop getting into so much divisive shit. You gotta be stupid for doing this. Like, I truly think so. Like, why? It makes no sense to go for what the popularity actually says. Because as he said, yeah, it can change in an instant. It's crazy. I mean, the same thing with like the fat movement. There used to be so much people for it to the point if you literally talked about that, you would get canceled. If you said, "Oh, I actually want a woman that takes care of themselves in a certain way," you might genuinely be canceled. I mean, now it's less of that. But that's how it was like back in like 2021. It's crazy.
Saddle up, dear viewer, grab your wizarding wands and whatever other stupid shit they use in Harry Potter, and let us examine the crash and burn of Emma Watson. Emma Charlotte Duer Watson was born in Paris.
What's wrong with that name? I actually like that name. I'm not gonna lie, I like that.
France in 1990 to a pair of wealthy lawyers. So naturally she grew up with all the benefits of having wealthy parents. Private schooling, tuition, multiple homes, and access to any clubs and interests she wanted to pursue. One of which turned out to be acting. Fuck me, she basically is Hermione Granger. Anyway, by 1999, a series of books about a boy wizard were turning out to be pretty popular, and work soon began on adapting them into a movie franchise. For this, they needed a bunch of child actors to play the three leads, including Hermione. Their searching soon led them to the Oxford Acting School where Watson was studying, and after no fewer than 8 auditions, she was finally cast in the role. And well, all I can say about her early performances is, you can tell that she was a theatre kid, that's for fucking sure.
I'm Hermione Granger, and you are?
Piss taken aside though, for a 10-year-old that had never acted in a movie before, I guess she was fine. Daniel Radcliffe was way better though. Anyway, you don't need me to tell-
Yeah, he carried the movie. I mean, obviously. I mean, I feel like it's for most main characters though, to be fair, but no, he definitely carried the movie, that's for sure.
You that the Harry Potter movies would go on to become a global phenomenon over the next several years, keeping Watson and her co-stars so busy that she literally didn't act in anything else until 2007, when she appeared in the TV movie Ballet Shoes, a film that landed mixed reviews and didn't do a whole lot for her career. In public, the Harry Potter series was going from strength to strength, but behind the scenes, the cracks were starting to show. Watson and the others were burned out by the constant demands of filming and promotional tours, and when it came time to renegotiate renegotiate her contract after the Goblet of Fire, she seriously considered leaving the franchise altogether. Still, she was eventually convinced to sign on again. It's amazing what a multi-million-dollar paycheck can do for a girl, isn't it?
Oh shit.
And by 2011, the series came to a close.
She really had it made out for her, essentially. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, that's insane.
With Deathly Hallows Part 2. For the first time in more than a decade, Watson was on her own. She'd basically grown up with Harry Potter, she'd never had a normal childhood or lived a normal life, and she likely never would. Keep that one in mind because it'll be important later. The question now was how to escape the long shadow of Hermione Granger and forge a career of her own. Her first few outings were mostly low-budget indie movies, everything from biopics like My Week with Marilyn to romantic dramas like The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and even heist movies like Bling Ring. None of them were big hits, but they did at least prove that she could be more than a mildly annoying bookworm with crappy hair. 2014 saw her move into big budget filmmaking with Darren Aronofsky's Noah, followed up by low budget thrillers Colonia and Regression. No matter the budget or the quality of the movie, one thing that stayed consistent were the positive reviews for Watson's acting. Now in her mid-20s and arguably at the peak of her career, she was developing a reputation as an eclectic and confident performer, willing to take on challenging roles and play against type, equally at home on the big or the small screen. An actor who wasn't just chasing fame and money, but taking on projects with actual artistic merit. Well done, Emma. Her star was rising. She was rapidly becoming the new it girl of Hollywood. Young, talented, intelligent, and sophisticated.
And then she threw it all away. Where's the moment?
She could navigate interviews like a pro. She was a natural in front of the camera, and she held all the correct opinions on important political topics. When the Me Too movement kicked off, Emma was all over it like a fly on.
Oh. Listen, some things in the Me Too movement were good. I think at least. But a lot of it. Anyways.
Shit, making speeches about feminism, establishing activism groups, and even getting appointed to the UN as their goodwill ambassador for women. Because truly, no one understands the plight of women in repressive third world regimes better than a multi-millionaire, privately educated theatre kid Hollywood actress that's never held a normal job in her entire life.
Yeah.
Really?
This reminds me kind of similar to like Pokemon being like tax the rich when she's the rich. Yeah, no, for real. He's great. Yeah, this is amazing.
But more on that later. Pretty soon, Watson wasn't content just to make speeches in front of rooms full of elderly politicians who probably wished they were literally anywhere else. She was bringing her activism directly into the movies she starred in. The live-action Beauty and the Beast was rewritten at her request to make Belle into an inventor and engineer because...
girls get it done.
Her political worldview could best be described as, I support...
Was that movie good? I didn't want to watch it. Like when it came to here, this is when I stopped watching movies more so. And honestly, one of my friends said that was a blessing. And so I just haven't watched that much movies ever since then, to be honest.
Girls.
The most I've watched that I can think of, something about like The Sound of Metal. I watched that recently. Also, like, I was thinking about watching the Demon Slayer movie, but that's pretty much it.
Get it done.
Her political worldview could best be described as, I support current thing, also known as the Mark Ruffalo technique.
Gay!
No matter the issue, no matter the complexity or...
I miss this guy. I miss this guy so much, dude. Oh my god.
No matter the issue, no matter the complexity or the nuance, you could pretty much guarantee that Emma Watson would be right there in the thick of it, pushing whatever the progressive consensus happened to be at the time. She was less of a person with her own opinions and ideas, and more like a series of safe, politically correct talking points wrapped up in a flesh suit, all delivered with the kind of sneering, upper-class British disdain that can only truly come from playing life on easy mode from the day she was born. But just like an overloaded cauldron filled with the wrong ingredients, problems were a brewing, dear viewer. Remember the lady who wrote all those wizarding books? Well, it turns out she'd become quite rich and famous over the years, and as a big raging progressive feminist herself, she and Emma were marching in lockstep on almost every issue. All except one. It turns out that the wizarding lady had a few issues with the T part of LGBT and began voicing her concerns with increasing volume.
Was that why the Hogwarts Legacy was banned? Like, heavily criticized and heavily hated? Is that actually why? Because remember that there used to be um a lot of people that if you play the game just on stream, they get hated. Is that genuinely why? Because of that?
And the reaction from the other side
It's so
was,
stupid.
well, how can I put this?
This is why people don't like you. This is why people don't like you. This is why. This is why people don't like you. Yes. Yeah.
Now Emma was in a bit of a tricky spot because she'd made it her mission in life to support current.
By the way, I'm not against trans people. I'm just putting that out there. But if you hear yelling, people screaming, you can't even get a logical anything logical out of them. Of course, you're gonna hate them. You feel me? But yeah.
Thing, but now the wizarding lady who she owed her entire career and stardom to was openly attacking one of the most sacred parts of current thing. What to do? Should she stand firm beside her friend of 20 years and back her up? Should she maintain a dignified silence and refuse to get drawn into a fight that wasn't hers? Or should she turn her back on the wizarding lady, hang her out to dry and make increasingly passive aggressive attacks
Second one. At least the second one. Do not do this shit.
against her? I think you can guess which one she chose.
Oh no.
And the thing is, that all worked great when Emma seemed to be on the side of current thing and the wizarding lady definitely wasn't. The problem with current thing though is that eventually it tends to change, and by 2025 the cultural winds had shifted dramatically. Public opinion on the issue was changing, and suddenly the wizarding lady wasn't seen as the evil witch who had to be defeated anymore. Now people were beginning to actually listen and even openly support her, and it began to occur to Emma that she might have backed
Do not come in here. Do not come in here. So my brother came in my room, basically talking to me, hang out with me, talking about art. So if this comes out after 3, that's the reason. Yeah, I apologize. I sincerely apologize.
wrong horse on this one.
Fuck.
So what to do? Stand her ground and maintain her position even if it wasn't so popular anymore? Or do a complete about face and pretend like she'd never disagreed with the wizarding lady in the first place? Well, the answer came on September.
Wait, what were the 2 options? Hold on.
Fuck.
So what to do? Stand her ground and maintain her position even if it wasn't so popular anymore? Or do a complete about face and pretend like she'd never disagreed with the wizarding lady in the first place?
I mean, couldn't you just say you were wrong? Is that not an option you can say? You were just wrong. Why is that not an option? Oh, I was ill-informed, or like I was just misinformed, like I was just wrong, or like any of those. Is that not an option for this? Is that not a part of the bingo card?
Well, the answer came on September the 24th on Jay Shetty's On Purpose podcast, where Emma claimed that she loved the wizarding lady and supported her and would always be open to talking with her.
Bullshit!
Oh, really? That's interesting coming from someone who spent half a decade publicly shitting on her. Now, if
She spent 5 years doing that. That's good.
you were feeling forgiving, you could probably write this whole thing off as a slightly cowardly but very pragmatic decision by someone who senses the political sands moving beneath her and doesn't want to get pulled down by them. And that might have been all she wrote, except this particular interview came to the attention of the wizarding lady, who until now had stayed pretty quiet on the topic of young Emma. Not anymore, as it turned out, when she decided to deliver the mother of all dressing downs a couple of days later in a very lengthy Twitter post calling out Watson as a spineless grifter, a shameless opportunist, a fair weather friend, and a spoiled privileged brat that had never worked a day in her life and was only trying to cozy up to her again because it was politically safe now. Damn, bro, I've seen.
Damn. Jesus. And also, she basically said, "Oh, I helped you through all of this." Like, that's essentially what she just said. Because look at this. Emma has very little experience of life. She's ignorant in how ignorant she is. She'll never need a homeless shelter. She's never going to be placed on a mixed-sex public hospital ward. I'd be astounded if she's been in a high street changing room since childhood. Her public bathroom is single occupancy and comes with a security man standing guard outside the door. As she had to strip in a newly mixed-sex changing room at a council-run swimming pool, is she ever likely to need a state-run crisis? Wait, can I even tell? Fuck. Okay, what time is it? I gotta remember that to censor it. Okay, cool. That refuses to guarantee an all-female service to find herself sharing a prison cell with a male rapist who's identified into a woman's prison. Damn. Basically, I built you up. I'm the reason why you have all of your stuff. And the thing is, she's not even wrong. JK Rowling's not wrong whatsoever. She is the reason why she's so successful technically because of this movie. Because of Harry Potter. But and also I'm assuming this is being like I lived through the struggle while you basically were, you know, in a flash you were just rich. Rich. Shoot, that's crazy.
It was politically safe now.
Nah, that's crazy.
Damn, bro, I've seen Mortal Kombat fatalities that were more forgiving than this. I've seen many a debate, many a scathing put down and brutal rebuttal in my time, but never in all of my days have I witnessed a person publicly dismantled with such brutal finesse. It wasn't just a takedown, it was a full-scale verbal evisceration, and proof that if there's one group of people you really don't want to piss off in the online space, it's fucking writers. Especially billionaire writers with hundreds of millions of fans behind them who built their entire careers out of basically nothing. With that one post, Emma Watson's public persona was transformed from a slightly preachy but relatively respected activist to the living personification of everything that people find so repellent about
Just dead. She basically killed her. Like not obviously that's figurative. But,
Hollywood actors. The smug, patronising, I know better than you attitude, the echo chamber mentality that comes from a life of privilege and luxury, the mindlessly predictable conformity masquerading as sophisticated intellectualism, and worst of all, the willingness to abandon any position the moment it becomes unpopular. She wasn't just opinionated and insufferable, she was a coward, and for someone who built their entire brand on fearlessly speaking truth to power, well, that was the most damaging revelation of all. So what's next for Emma Watson? Can she possibly claw her way back from this? Well, her movie career basically ended 5 years ago when she pulled the plug on acting to focus on activism, so I don't really know if
that's terrible. That just terrible. That just sounds terrible. That just truly sounds terrible. I mean, however, she doesn't really need to do anything else. I would imagine she has enough money now to the point she can quite literally just do literally nothing and be set. So, I don't know. That's just what I think.
there's any momentum left behind her, even if she wanted to make a comeback. She's 35 now, which isn't exactly old, but it ain't exactly young either, and it's definitely not a good age to try to build your career back up after wasting your prime years in the wilderness. She's not likely to make much progress as an activist either now that her cover's been blown and she's willing to soften her position on the whole tea issue. Because if there's one thing that particular group of activists won't accept, it's betrayal. So it kind of feels like she's fucked either way. Emma Watson really is proof that if you stand for nothing, well, you'll fall for anything. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Crazy. That's good. Oh, Osmond Gold also did a video to this. Oh shit. But nah, critical thinker.
You know,
I love his voice. I'm gonna be real. This is one of my first videos from him. I've seen him from I think people like Smugglana, but I love his voice. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, this is the video that I saw. But yeah, he's a great creator. It seems like he makes pretty good, well thought out videos. And yeah, I'll leave it down in the description. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Have a fantastic day. See you guys next time. Goodbye.